Hi Keith.
Hi.
Welcome to GITEX 2018.
Thank you.
How do you feel being here this year?
Pretty energized. I mean, certainly when you walk through the halls, pretty packed, pretty busy, always around tech, right? I mean, I think with, all the new developments of, AI and IoT, it creates a lot of interest, a lot of excitement around how how those messages are coming across.
Right. So for Microsoft especially, like in this upcoming 5 days, what can your partners and customers expect to see at your stand?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Microsoft all up, of course, we always talk about our three clouds. And what I focus on, of course, is the business application space, which is now sort of an integral part of that cloud journey. And I think for us, it's really working the message in of how we've infused the things we were talking about, the artificial intelligence and the IoT, and infused that in our first-party business applications to really kind of take the mystery away, right? I mean, we've now said, you've got this and you're consuming it in your daily use in Office, whether you're in Dynamics 365, customer engagement, if you're in the back office financials, this is infused through the journey. And I think that really starts to speed up the education and accelerates that kind of digital transformation journey of Microsoft, because we're all part of the bigger picture now.
Right. And like if we specifically come to the phrase where we say, like automation is business and business is automation, right? And
Absolutely.
if we emphasize on Microsoft Dynamics, okay, what crucial role is that Dynamics 360 playing in there?
Yeah, I think you've got to look at it as two different things. For me, it's creating systems of intelligence that drive systems of action, right? Now, business process automation is critical to that. But if you start thinking about how people's lives in business kind of work together, you've got your ladies and gentlemen out in the field on mobile devices we call the first line workers. What are they doing? They're doing creativity, collaboration and communication software in Outlook and in Office. And now that's part of the same platform as Dynamics. So what we're able to do is infuse these two journeys together. So you have the very structured view of a financial system or a customer engagement system with the unstructured data coming from, these, your Office automation, plus the super unstructured data from social with LinkedIn. And what we're doing is we're bringing that together and effectively creating a connected data map where we're separating the process from that so that we can actually reason over it. Now that's what I call the system of intelligence. So it's not just saying I'm looking at this or I'm looking at that. It's a step change, and we're actually reviewing the entire business process differently. And then instead of just giving reports or dashboards, we're saying by using artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT, whatever the collection is, what are we doing different in terms of the system of action? What are we changing in that process automation? And I think that's probably the most exciting piece is actually that journey for our customers. And that's hopefully what they'll start to see on the stand. I mean, I was just there now looking at the IoT demo and how that would create a case in a system of, our customer service system, or we were looking at the AI where we're all seeing how old we are. So my advice is smile. You look much younger on our AI there, and how that starts to work with sentiment in, say, a retail environment. So really exciting what we're doing around that.
And if we talk about the market segmentation, for example, what would your go-to-market strategy be? Like, would you be focusing more on the enterprise side or the SMB side with Dynamic especially?
Yeah, great question. So, if you think about, so if we kind of separate the Dynamics portfolio, although again part of the bigger picture, inside there we've got a couple of flavors of software. So we are catering now for almost the SMB market, if we call it that. And on the stand you'll see a product called Business Central, which is our SMB product, which is like an all-in-one. It gives you finance, operations, manufacturing, service, customer engagement in one platform, like a prescribed implementation, infused with AI, so you get even AI services, you get Power BI, you get Power Apps, which I'll talk about in a minute, the platform there, all included in one place. So you're really delivering artificial intelligence in a business application system for an SMB, and that's brand new for us. So that's pretty exciting that we've had the opportunity to show that at GITEX. And then of course, the normal business for us is enterprise commercial, enterprise public sector. These are the areas where, our product is fitting great. We're part of that acceleration, the DT acceleration journey of Microsoft. I mean, look at the awareness going on today. Couldn't miss it as we drove in, walked in, etc. And that's what it's all about for us is now, that focus area has to be on enterprise and that split public sector and commercial, but it's really exciting to now give some focus into that sort of SMB corporate space where maybe a pre-prescribed product makes sense for them.
So, Keith, very briefly, the team Microsoft, okay, how are you redefining the future, the urban future of enterprise?
The urban future, as in sort of smart cities and things like that. Yeah, certainly. I mean, you know, we've obviously got these industry players, these industry experts and the public sector team, and we talk a lot around of that. And what happens is, because we're now kind of infused in that journey, if you look at something like a smart city and you start thinking of something like how to improve someone's journey in it, urban automation as an example, you know, where you're actually saying, well, how do these devices, these escalators, these elevators, how do they fit in to my journey with, let's say, a transportation system? You know, that's a lot of data, right? And I think the key to it is being able to collect that data, and obviously we've got great tools to do that, and then work out where do we want to put a business process in. And I think separating the logic of a business process and how we deliver that into that system of action I talk about versus ERP CRM, right? So we've kind of cracked that code wide open and said, let's have intelligent modular business applications to solve a business process problem. Now, whether that's to do with a smart city or whatever, it's all process driven. So it's a question of saying, in this process, does it make sense to consume from here, from the Azure cloud? Where does it make sense to deliver the experience, right? And I think that's the key, right? It's the customer experience that we're talking about today. And the demands of the customer and the consumer have changed. I mean, it's a very much an immediate, little patience, big delivery expected. And that's where you've got to get the processes right, and you've got to collect the data, which is one thing, but you've also got to be able to intelligently use that. And that's that, you know, I keep talking about the system of action, but to me, that's the critical piece, right? And I think, you know, the other thing around that is we've got this thing called a power platform. And this kind of falls, well, it spans our entire cloud portfolio, but it's in the business application sense, it's the ability to create, think of any business process, removing paper as a great example, or redefining a business process. But I love the paper one because, I mean, walk around Dubai, there's a lot of people still doing paper processes. And it kind of takes the paper process into an automated power app on the mobile device, on the desktop, wherever you want to see it. And then you start to think, well, what systems am I touching with that application? Does it make sense to touch a business application in the background to drive a more comprehensive process? Or do I just purely update tables? What am I doing? And of course, this all goes back to the data center, the Azure cloud, which has the common data layers, you know, so we can actually run without worrying about big integration projects. You know, you can actually get a very quick time to value by doing that stuff, very, very quick, which really talks to digital transformation, doesn't it? Where you break big projects into small pieces, run, get an ROI, repeat. And I think that Power Platform plays nicely there because it's a combination of the Power Apps, the Power BI, which you'll know about, of course, the analytics platform, and then Flow, which is a cross-application workflow. And we've kind of put that together to say, that's pretty cool. I mean, we can land that in customers as fixing problems and repeating, like I say, which is really the key to transformation.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Keith, for being with us today.
My pleasure.
Wish you all the best for the upcoming 5 days.
Thank you. We're looking forward to the Microsoft acceleration in the cloud. Thank you.